Welcome back to the channel. Today, like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff, help support us a little bit. Maybe we can get up over, 500 views total. But anyway, today I'll be installing the Freedom doors. Shout out to my man Adam Kroller for that term. Here we've got a 60 inch by 80 inch Freedom door set that's unpainted fiberglass from a company called MP, Mike Papa Doors. It's fiberglass, smooth and unpainted. It was $1,518 plus tax. To paint it, it went up over 2,000 bucks. So I figure I can, as much as I dislike painting, I can justify a few $100s. But anyway, just framing out the actual frame part again for the door itself, what I'm going to nail to. So I put in a double 2x4 header. That's what I'm working on here, using the clamps kind of just to pull it square with the rest of the wooden framing. Then work on the sides. I needed to put in some strips because it wasn't quite where it needed to be. So I just had to put in basically some furring strips, kind of build the gap out. And then that way, when I come in with the wedges, everything works out. So this is for the sides. I'm taking a 2x4 and basically cutting it down. I forget exactly what I cut it down to, but I'm creating more furring strips for the side parts. Um, Always fun doing that with a table saw. Gets a little, especially one this cheap and crappy, but it is what it is. So this is putting them in. And again, it's just to kind of soak up the gap, give somewhere for the wedges to go. You'll see what I mean by wedges. If you're not familiar, you have to use wedges on a door frame, basically to secure the actual frame that's built into the pre-hung doors. You're putting a frame inside a frame. You're putting a square inside a square. Um, Hopefully the door, like mine was, is totally square. Hey, you get to see me struggle with this thing and hope I don't break it or it fly open or anything, which it didn't, so yay. And see me exhausted. Come back the next day, and I put in some of the screws just as temporary, just to hold it so it didn't fall over. And so here today, I really get to mess with it and really try to get everything square and plumb and set up. I do have to say that this door was really easy to work with. The fiberglass was easy to work with. Nothing broke, nothing came apart. The screws are high quality screws, so if you can, if you want, buy the M&P door or MP door. They're really good. Just take your time with this stuff. It's frustrating. If you've never hung a door before, you haven't done it a lot like me. I've done it, just not a lot. Just go slow. Start at one end, one side, go to the other side, and then you'll go to the actual top part. Um, but you want to do it left to right or right to left first. If you go and do the top part first, it's not going to work out very well for you. But one is you want to check to make sure it's somewhat square, measure diagonally. And as long as you're close, everything else you can kind of just work it in. But you use the screws basically to pull it square, to pull the door frame square with your frame and keep everything aligned correctly. Just one word to the wise, make sure your floor, if your floor is not flat, like my container is not 100% flat, know what that measurement is on your square. So lay it on the floor, and if the bubble's on the line, well, then your frame of your door bubble needs to be on the line or something like that, if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, then go watch someone's video on how to plumb a door or something like that. But there I put in all the wedges. This is me cutting off all the wedges. Got some fancy saw that didn't really work that great, so I ended up using a utility knife. And then on the outside, this is basically just blocking everything in. I cut down some 1/2 inch OSB. I cut it to fit and then just screwed it in. And this just created a barrier on the outside, so you're going to have some little gaps here and there. I built this into the overall plan to do this anyway. Put these in, and then basically you're building out from there, and then come back with the flashing like you saw on the windows. Flashing's cheap, just like caulk, so I'm not afraid to use a whole bunch of it. That stuff really works well also. It's really easy to use. It's really easy to cut. It's really easy to kind of maneuver into these little spaces like this. So just like with the windows, work from the bottom up In this case, I know I'm coming down from the top, but the bottom's going to go in, and then you're going to overlap the top header parts across these. So if water does get on it, it'll go down. It won't go in a seam, it'll go over a seam. You know, water flows down, folks. Gravity works on water as well. So overall, this probably took, you've noticed I'm in my third different shirt in this video. This actually probably took me 4 days to do. Definitely took 3. Um, took my time, you know, checked everything twice, 3 times, put screws in, took screws out, things of that nature. But all of that, if you don't put in the work, if you just kind of do it halfway and say, oh, it's good enough, well, when you get to the end, guess what? It won't be good enough. It won't close right. You'll have all of these problems. It'll be hard to seal it. Here I'm putting in caulking between the flashing and the door frame itself. Again, caulk is cheap, people. Use caulking. Don't try to fill a giant 1-inch gap with caulking. They've got other products for that. That's why I put in that OSB piece. Put that on there. Put this on the outside, and then you see here with the spray foam, I come in and fill the gaps. That's what spray foam's for. That's what you fill gaps with. Its R value is much higher than a lot of wood you're ever going to use. I didn't need to use treated wood because I put so much protection on the outside. And then here's your finished product. Looks pretty good. Still need to do the trim around the doors, but I've got the handle set installed. I've got a video coming on that soon of the handle set that I did install and how easy that went in. And this is the middle part. I do like these little hidden hinges. They're really nice. They feel really good. There's a ton of weather stripping on this thing, so it snugs up good. But I've got it plumb. I've got it square. That snaps in. That snaps in. No problems there. Close the door. Boom. Closed. Done. See y'all next time. Thanks for watching.